everybody. Recently I got a question from Facebook. Why I have not made a video about why I left Butler. And so here's a video. Not really why I left Butler. I think that's pretty obvious why I left. But to come here to work for Schneider and more pay and more home time, the combination just worked out great. But let me just take out the negative first about Butler, and then I'll just go through the positives. I think the negative about it is their pay. Their pay scale is the same. You start out, say you got 2 years experience, which they require. They start you out at, it's in the low 30s. I can't remember. I think it's like 32 or something like that. Let's just say 32. So if you start off at 32 cents a mile at 2 years, if you come in driving for 10 years, you still come in at 32 cents a mile. Now you'll get raises as you progress and have a little bit of longevity with the company. But it is low pay, But I will say that the miles compensates with that. You probably got more miles, longer runs than you do with a lot of other OTR companies. Another negative, their insurance wasn't the greatest. Their medical insurance. I can't really expand much from that because all I've really ever known was just to, when I go to an orientation, sign up for insurance and make sure the kids are covered. My wife and kids are covered. Outside of that, my wife would do that, and she would actually tell me, about the insurance. If it was good or bad. All I needed is thumbs up or thumbs down, and usually she gave me a thumbs down on it. I don't know, things change, but she didn't like the insurance. And then there's just the home time. But most people who go to work at Butler go and they know what they want, and they know that what they're getting, so they don't really mind the home time policy. Me, myself, it was my foot in the door. They took a chance with me. So let's get to the positives here. Like I said, they took a chance on me. I had a couple of things on my MVR that were questionable, and a lot of the big companies would not hire me, but the smaller companies would. There was a little small company I worked for just a month until Butler came along, which was a better company, and they took a chance. And the recruiter that I talked to, and I can't remember his name, he's real cool. He's about my age, and he's got this big old long thing like this, but I can't remember his name for anything. Kind of a weird name, but he told me on the phone. It's like, if I bring you into orientation, that means you're as good as hired. As long as you pass the drug test and the driving test, you're hired. I mean, we're not going to bring you into orientation, and then turn you loose because of something of your MVR. We check all that stuff before. And so I had a ticket and an accident. Actually, I had 2 tickets in an accident at that time, within that 3-year period, and that was keeping me from getting a big company dedicated type job that I'm on now. I needed something to get my foot back in the door. That way I could have a a job like this, a job where I'm home a lot more, and all that stuff. Higher pay. I needed to make that sacrifice to be on, living OTR, and they made a little sacrifice with me, and my record stayed clean, and I humbled myself, and did all this stuff, and it worked out really well. They take a lot of chances with a lot of drivers. It wasn't just me being all special or anything. They took a lot of problem drivers like I was, and hired them. I talked to many drivers who have accidents or tickets or something that maybe another company wouldn't hire them, and Butler would. So anytime I hear someone that say, "Hey man, I've got a troubled background as far as this, that, and I would give Butler a shot." Yeah, you'll have to sacrifice some home time, but you know what? Go in, humble yourself, clean up your driving habits, and just come out there and stay clean, and then after time, things will pick up for you, and you can pretty much get any job you want. So, and that's what happened with me. Mistakes happen out here. I hear a lot of drivers that come out here, "Oh, you've got tickets, you've got accidents, and blah, 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 blah. You're a sorry driver." And I used to be that same way. But then when, something happens to you, like something happened to me, it's like, hey man, that wasn't really my fault, but it's on my record. So, that was a big thing with Butler, is that they gave me the chance I needed. But one thing that is good about Butler, if nothing else, is the people treat you with so much respect. I can't remember how many times I went in there, and the guy who does orientation, named Gary, I'm not going to butcher his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. I don't have notes here. It starts with an S. But Gary is how I knew him. And so every time I would come in there, he would call me by my name, and everyone else by their name. And I'm like, "Gary, you see drivers come in and out of here like crazy." He's like working there for, gosh, ever since the company started, like almost 30 years ago, or 20 some odd years ago. And it's like, "Gary, everybody's name. How do you know that? And it's like, just something that they're good at. And they really, no one ever disrespected me over there. It's real driver friendly company to work for, real pet friendly to work for. All the drivers got along. I mean, you would just go in there and sit down, in their little lounge area with their couches and everything, and everybody would just chat, have a good time, talk about politics or whatever. Butler drivers would see each other down the road, and just automatically strike up a conversation. I mean, there was that camaraderie, but there was so much respect in the office towards us. When I started orientation, instead of putting you on a Greyhound, they flew me up there to Kansas City. And they put me in a suite. Put everyone else in a suite too. And that's what's so crazy about it, is that, they take you out to dinner and all that stuff. They just really treated you with respect. Another thing is that, with exception to loads going out to Denver and stuff like that, where loads are hard to come by to get out of there, not really hard to come by. You just had to deal with meat packing plants. Meat packing plants sometimes take their time. So you will sit there and wait for 24 hours or more to wait on your load to be ready for those meat packing plants. It's not really Butler's fault. They're doing the best they can. But one thing that You know, outside of the Denver area, you're always running. You know, there's a lot of East Coast, no New York City, no Canada, but always running. And so, I mean, I had a good time while I was there. You know, I left there because I've got a family. I've got a family, and I wanted to be on dedicated. I've made the most money on dedicated, and Butler doesn't have dedicated. They're all OTR. I mean, you have dedicated if you live in the Kansas City area. I don't think those guys are dedicated. It's more just local. But at least that's the way it was. I don't know about now. But yeah, I mean, if you're out there and you're looking for a job and you've got experience, you know you're a good driver, but you know maybe circumstances had their way, give Butler a shot. All they're going to do is, you know, most of the time they're going to give you, you know, say, yeah, come on. They got good equipment, you know, Freightliners, Peterbilts, Kenworth, Internationals. Got really good equipment, and you'll be happy to work there. All reefer, I mean, all reefer trailers, but they do haul dry freight as well. But they just put them on reefer trailers. I mean, good company, and I you know, go on work with them. I can't tell you how satisfied I was as an employer there, but employee there, but definitely, you know, with my family situation, I wanted to be home more, and this gig I got here pays me most I've ever got paid. So, I mean, I'm not gonna, you know, but if something was to ever happen, you know, I know that Butler would be there because I left them on good terms, and all that. They keep on sending me stuff in the mail, for crying out loud. So, hey, come back. You can get in this truck right here, you know. I mean, they will super dog work with you. I remember when I was in orientation, Gary, like I said, he, you know, I'm a big guy, I'm tall and everything, and I didn't want no Peterbilt because the thing about Peterbilts and Kenworth and all that, well, at least those Peterbilts, I mean, you have a problem bumping your head all the time. Being 6'4", no, give me something big like a International or a Freightliner. And I had 3 trucks while I was there, and all 3 of them, Gary said, "Hey man, this truck will fit you," you know. So, and he knew I liked Internationals. He hooked me up with the ProStar. That's the type of people they are up there. They work with the driver. The driver is not the enemy, and they want drivers to be happy up there. Like I said, they can come up and pay a little bit, but you know, the miles really, you know, equal out. So, anyway, so that's my Butler transport review. So, take it like it is. 73.